Hi, and welcome to Meetings in Math. You are here for section 7.4, Approximating Square Roots. Our essential question is, how can estimating square roots be used to compare numbers? Today, you will need your Jaguar dots on section 7.4, a pen or a pencil. We will not be using a calculator, so you need to bring your problem-solving skills, your bright ideas, and your best effort. We'll be starting with example number 2, approximating the square root of 23, both to the nearest integer and to the nearest tenth. To begin with, we need to find the two perfect squares that 23 is between. And so using either our memorization skills or multiplication chart, we know that the perfect 23 is between the two perfect squares of 16 and 25. And so now the next thing we need to do is take the square root of 16 and 25. So the square root of 16 is 4, and the square root of 16 is 25. And so the next question is, which one is it closest to? And so if we look on the number line and we put our numbers down, we can see that 23 is closer to 25. And so then we know that the square root of that number is 5, and so our answer is 5. So then to find that to the nearest tenth, we start taking that number line and breaking it down. And so if we take this number line and we break it down, right here we could put 4.5. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use this for our decimals, and then we're going to use this right here for the perfect squares. And so if this is 4.5, we would know that this is 20.25. And so we're trying to get really as close as we can to 23. And so we'll start dividing this up. So this would be 4.6, 4.7, 4.8, and so on. So 4.7, if we go 4.7 times 4.7, and we're just doing this out by longhand, we get 22.09. 4.8 would be 23.04. That's pretty darn close. And so we would say that our answer, then, the square root of 23.04 would be 4.8. So for us, to the nearest tenth would be 4.8. The next question is, which one is greater? So the square root of 28 or 5.5. And there's two different ways you can think about this. You could either figure out what's the square root of 28, or you could think about it in reverse. And I kind of like it better in reverse because it's almost easier, but we'll talk about that second. So we need to figure out what's the square root of 28. I know 28 is between 25, square root of 25, and square root of 36. So I know it's between 5 and 6. And I know that 28 is closer to that 5. And so I'm going to say that it's really close to that 5, because halfway between 25 and 36 is about 30. So I would say it's really close to that 5. So I'm going to say that it's actually less than 5.5, because it's got to get really close to that 25. So I would say that our larger number then would be that 5.5. And then I like to flip it and think of it in a little bit different. I know that we're supposed to be finding square roots to doing estimates, but really, if we have a good tool, let's use it. So let's think of it in a different way. Why not square the 5.5? I know how to square the 5.5. So let's do 5.5 squared. And I get 30.25. That means that the square root of 30.25 is 5.5. That leads me to say that the square root of 30.25 is my larger number. But that was at 5.5 squared, which further validates the fact that the square root of 28 is the smaller number, which means 5.5 is the larger number. So we can kind of look at it forward and backwards. This one is a little bit harder for you to kind of grasp, and I get that. So you might want to pause this, rewatch it again, and rethink about those two different sides of the same coin. To order these numbers, it's a whole lot easier. I would just take the square root of 9. So we have the square root of 9, 2.8, and pi. So what's the square root of 9? What's 2.8? And what's pi? Square root of 9 is 3. We know that. 2.8. What's pi? Pi is 3.14. And so now we can put them in order. We have 2.8 is the smallest number, then 3, and then 3.14. So then how would you estimate the square root of 37? I would like you to stop and think about it, get a plan going, and then be able to explain it to somebody. Find somebody to explain it to. Thank you so much for joining us in this lesson about approximating square roots. And remember, be kind to one another because we can all use some extra kindness in our lives. Bye for now.